Hello chess friends and welcome to Zarov's chess channel and welcome to the round 7 of the Grand Chess Tour in 2019 in the St. Louis Chess Club. So in round 7 we had the clash again, Fabiano Caruana with white pieces against Levon Aronian. Levon Aronian has played so far a perfect tournament. He has 5 points out of 6 possible points, so he has 4 wins and only 2 draws. The more important thing is that Levon Aronian has won all of his games with the black pieces. It's really unbelievable in this top grandmaster level, and today again he played the with the black pieces. It's sort of he has the advantage of the black pieces, which is really unbelievable. And yesterday he had a great game against Magnus Carlsen with the queen sacrifice. It was really an unbelievable tactical game. I'll show you the link of this video at the end of this video. So today we had again a classical line of the Ruy Lopez played by Fabiano Caruana and Levon Aronian, and Levon Aronian really is feeling well in these types of lines, and let's see what happened in the game. Here Fabiano Caruana played e4, we have e5, knight on f3 and knight on c6. I wanted to point to a very important thing out here in this continuation of the video. You'll see one important strategical element of a chess game, and it's the so-called relation between bishops and pawns. So when you have your bishop maybe on a dark square, you want to have your pawns on a light square. So this is the main strategical element in a chess game, because you want to cover you won't want to cover maybe the light squares with your pawns, but you want to cover the dark squares with your bishop. So this will be very important in this game. You'll see why. Bishop on b5, we have still the common theory of the Ruy Lopez. I'm not going to explain all of this strategical element and this opening principles of this opening. I think you're very familiar with this opening lines. There are many lines. This Morphy defense. We have also some gambit lines, but here we have sort of a classical variation with knight on f6, castling played by Fabiano Caruana, and now bishop on e7, rook on e1, and now b5. Now the real threat was to take this knight on c6 and then the pawn on e5, because white has castle, so it would be now possible. That's why b5, kicking away the bishop, and now bishop on b3, castling played by Levon Aronian, and now a4. And you have now several options. You have also the option here to play maybe the move bishop on b7. After a takes b5, a takes b5, rook takes on a8, you have maybe queen on a8. It doesn't bring so much, I think, for both sides. Black has a really compact game. We have an advanced pawn, and this advanced pawn always can kick away maybe the potential knight on c3 move with the move b4. So after a4, here Levon Aronian choose to play the move b4, and I want to just really pay good attention here. We have now a pawn that's on a dark square, and here a pawn that's on a light square. This is a very important thing. Here Caruana choose to go a5, so he's putting now a pawn on a dark square. So it means in a potential endgame, this dark square bishop wouldn't be good if we just could just imagine this position with only the dark square bishops. This pawn is on a light square, and basically what Levon Aronian is doing here is trading off this light square bishop. So let's see how he did it. Okay, he played first the move d6. We have c3, which is a good move for black. I think it's a common move. It's still common theory. I'm not saying that you will win this game if your opponent plays the move c3. I'm just wanting to show you the strategical elements, because c3 just improves the position here. After bishop on e6, we have now this this offering of trades of this light square bishop. Bishop takes on e6, and now f takes e6. If you play something like knight on g5 in order to attack this pawn, you have simply queen on d7. It's not a problem. After potential queen on b3, we have also d5. So it's really not something that black has to worry about here. So that's why here d4 played by Fabiano Caruana, trying to get use of this very important pawn chain that he has created so far. But now b takes c3, and now b takes c3, and very important move now, e takes d4, and after c takes d4, you can really guess now the best strategical move here from black's perspective. I'm pointing you out. We have the dark square bishops on the board, so as said, we want to have as much as possible of the spawns on light squares. So here Levon Aronian plays, of course, the move d5. And okay, you can get a tempo here by white. You can play the move e5, and here we have knight on d7. And this is now really important. Here we have the pawn structure that is created here in the continuation of the game. Here we have a very important element. We can play after that maybe this move c5. If we play the move c5, then we have a supported pass pawn, and the supported pass pawn is a huge advantage in a potential endgame. Although white has the pawn majority here with the 3-on-2 situation on the king side, it simply doesn't bring you so much, because you need many moves in order to make this happen, make something happen here on the king side. And the most important thing is that we have the kings on the king side. So this pawn majority doesn't mean so much, because you have the king, which is a protector and can be very useful in some defensive setups. But the more important thing is that black can push really here the c5 move. From a strategical point of view, it's a huge advantage, and the evaluation here is equal. But as I said, from a human point of view, I think black has a very good game here, because you cannot attack here with the pawn on e6 with some knight on g5 ideas. This is a huge difference. This pawn is now on a dark square, so basically, if you want to protect this pawn even more, you will need a dark square bishop, and this dark square bishop of blacks would be then an attacker of this pawn. So you see now we have all of these pawns on dark squares, and white has a dark square bishop. So as I said, from this strategical element of this relations between bishops and pawns, I think Levon Aronian has an advantage here. Here knight from b to d2 was played, and here rook on b8, not a problem, bishop on a3. So here Caruana tries to undermine this importance of these bishops on the board. That's why bishop takes on a3, rook takes on a3, and now very important move, rook on b5. Because Caruana lost now many tempos, we have now the possibility to attack this weak pawn here. Queen on e2 was played, and now h6, preventing some knight on g5 ideas in the near future, of course. And now h3. We have rook on f7. This is very important. If we play in some occasions the move c5, then we want to bring the rook maybe here to b7, and then we will have a very powerful battery on the b file. Rook on c1 was played, and now knight on b8. A very important move, protecting this knight. As said, our main idea is to play the move c5. If we manage to do that, it's winning for black, but you have to be calm, you have to be patient. It has to be prepared more, because Caruana is playing also some active moves. That's why it's not so easy so far. So queen on d3. Here we have knight on a5. Still the game is equal, although we are pawn up, because this is now a main weakness. White can also try some batteries on the a file, and here rook from a to c3 was played, and now knight on d7. Here that was really a tricky move here by Levon Aronian. If you take rook takes on c7, then we have a very powerful discovered attack of this knight. If you play rook on c8, then we first of course take the queen, and after rook takes on d8, we have rook on f8, and okay, we have defended. Maybe you can try rook on d6, but again we can protect this, and here you have also an attacked rook, so far it's not possible. These are these tactical preparations here. That's why queen on g6 was first played here by Fabiano Caruana, and here knight on f8. This knight is now a perfect defensive piece. It protects this main weakness in black's position. This is the pawn on e6, and as I said, our main goal is still to push the pawn here on c5. Queen on c2 was played. Now first c6, rook on a1, and now queen on b6. We are preparing still the c5 move. We want to have a compact position, maybe now trying to play rook on c7 and then c5. Rook from c to a3 was played, now rook on a7, and now knight on h2, and now finally this c5 move. So you see, it had to be prepared, because we had this 3-on-2 situation in the center. We want to get use of this, and now and if anything can happen here, of course, but still we have then this supported pass pawn, which is a huge strategical advantage in the continuation of the game. D takes c5 was played, rook takes on c5. Here rook on c3 was played. Maybe here a better choice for Caruana would have been maybe to play the move queen on d3, because then the knight is a little bit stuck here on the edge of the board. We are attacking this a6 weakness with 3 pieces, so the knight would be still a little bit stuck on the edge of the board for a while, but with some improvements of the position you can maybe handle this weakness. Here Caruana makes maybe a slight inaccuracy with rook on c3, and here we have rook on c7 as promised. We have now the battery on the c file. Now the position is simply winning for black if you don't make a huge mistake and really blunder some pieces here. Rook takes on c5, rook takes, we have queen on d1, and now knight on c6. Now Levon Aronian is playing simply on this improvements of pieces. Now finally he can get this knight back to the center. We have knight on f3. You see, this idea of knight on h2 was a little bit too slow. Probably Caruana was thinking about some f4, f5 moves, but it was really too slow, I think. And here knight on g6 was played. We are attacking now this pawn. Again, a new weakness in Caruana's position. Here rook on b1 was played. Now rook on b5, another problem. Rook on c1, and now rook on b4 with some ideas maybe to fix the rook if the position allows it, maybe on some central squares. If maybe you get this knight out, if you remove this knight on f3, or if you remove this knight on d2. Knight on f1 was played, and now very important move, knight on f4. This is a very well placed knight. We have also some tactical possibilities, maybe if again I'm pointing you out, it's not possible immediately, but if the position allows it, maybe queen on d8, queen on e8, and then queen on g6, creating even some checkmate threats. This knight is always annoying when it's dancing around the castle king, so that's why queen on d2, and here very important move, knight on d4, knight takes, and here Levon Aronian is searching for simplifications here, because we have 5 pawns on the board, white has only 4 pawns. We have now pass pawn, and this is still a weakness. Knight on f4 was played before, because then you cannot play your own pawn here on f4, protecting this e5 weakness. Queen takes, and now here Levon Aronian plays even a fork, improving the position of the knight with knight takes on d4, rook on a1, and here rook on b6, f4, but now knight on b3. Now we have a distant pass pawn, and this is also a very important element, because we have now the knight is always struggling against this distant pass pawn situations. Rook on a3 was played. Now simply playing forward with this pawn, a5, king on g3. Fabiano Caruana is trying to get a new defender here, but now it's really too slow. Rook on b4, knight on e3 was played, a4, simply moving straight forward. This knight still cannot attack. If you try something like knight on c2, this knight would be then in sort of a diagonal setup against this pawn. You will need many moves in order to attack this pawn on a4. f5 was played, trying to get at least some kind of a weakness here, but here very nice move here played by Levon Aronian in this in-between attack of the knight, d4, knight on d1, and now we can simply grab another pawn. E takes f5, king on f4, and now g6. We have now fixed position. Here Caruana tried e6, but now king on f8, king on e5, king on e7, and it's game over. Basically the evaluation is really winning for black here. King on d5, we have d3 pushing another pawn, and here king on e5. The important thing is we cannot go with this king here on c5 and try to attack somehow the rook. Here Caruana played king on e5 and resigned this game, because in the next move we can also try rook on b5 and really grab this pawn. We would then have two pass pawns here, and of course it's a completely winning endgame here for black. Oh, great game again by Levon Aronian. It's unbelievable what he did here in this tournament with the black pieces. 4 wins out of 4 rounds against Magnus Carlsen, Shakrim Mamedjarov, Vasil Agrav, and Fabiano Caruana today. Unbelievable stuff. He played so far a tournament of 3,100 ratings. This rating performance. I hope he win this tournament. I would really love to have a new winner of tournaments, because we're used that Magnus Carlsen is winning this tournament, but we will need new strong challengers. If Magnus Carlsen, of course, wants to stay on the top, he has to also have some good challengers, because then he'll stay sharp, he'll try to defend his title, and I think maybe, but just maybe, in the near future we could also watch Levon Aronian as a world championship challenger against Magnus Carlsen. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this game. I enjoyed it a lot, as I said many times in this tournament. I really am enjoying this tournament. It's really great one. We have many surprises, many winning games, which is also important. Not many of these draws, because this is now a rapid format. You see players make mistakes. I really enjoy it, and I think in the near future we could also watch maybe the world championship match playing in a rapid style. I think it will be a great thing, because then we would have more dynamic, but also more games with mistakes. Okay, meanwhile you can watch my promised game from the round 6, in which Levon Aronian crushed Magnus Carlsen with the queen sacrifice, and you can also watch my other commentary chess games from the series, and you can also subscribe to my channel if you like this content. Thank you for watching, guys, and chess is the best, of course.